Hey, it's hammer time.
Very excited to have our great friend, Representative Cesar Chavez, with us here today. You, I believe, grew up in Guanajuato. Curious how you came up to Arizona.
So I lived in Guanajuato up until I was 3 years old, was born there, then came to the United States. And now, of course, once my family and I received our residency, we would go back every single year. So yeah, I can say that I did grow up in Guanajuato. It's a majestic place to visit, but most importantly, the history and the culture, it's very, very rich and very present, of which I always love to show it off.
Well, you played not just a leading role. I mean, you were the key behind a NAFTA resolution that was considered by the legislature this past session. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that and why that's so important?
Mexico being our #1 trading partner, Canada being our second, it really makes a lot of sense that we promote something that's going to continue promoting our economy. Now, when I introduced the NAFTA resolution, it was very important that we try to get as much bipartisan support on it, because it's not a Republican or Democratic issue. It's about how we're going to catapult Arizona into the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years. Always thinking in the future, of course. And I think that Arizona has definitely done a good job coming from a very dark hole that we had in the past couple of years. I think that we've been able to reestablish a relationship that definitely will, like I said, catapult resources for both places. We're talking about jobs. We're talking about industries that probably in the history of this state we've never thought would happen, and it's happening today.
Another key issue is DACA and immigration. And at the chamber, we feel it's very important to get a permanent resolution that includes a pathway to citizenship. Love for you to talk about the importance of getting DACA done to the state of Arizona.
A solution to immigration is very important. We have seen the numbers, and they are truly the backbone of our economic force, of our workforce. And we have these dreamers who their dream is to go to college, their dream is to create businesses and provide jobs for the community. Why hinder that dream? Why be an obstacle to that dream? And so I think that instead of talking rhetoric, instead of talking about some of the more controversial situations that could happen, let's talk about real solutions. Let's sit down with members of both parties and find a solution. And Congress really holds it in their hand. It's just time that we take action.
Talk a little bit about just some of the things you might see on the policy side that would be helpful to advance small business in the state.
So I represent the district with the largest population of Latinos, and I would say over 80% of those Latinos have in one way, shape, or form a small business, whether it's on the side or that's what they dedicate themselves to. One of the policies that I'm most proud of was the amendment that I added on to Representative Kevin Payne's food truck bill, and that was to allow the push carts, the eloteros and paleteros, to be able to work without any fear in residential areas or on the streets. They really are the essence of my community, a very diverse and cultureful district, and they would definitely we would definitely be at a loss if we didn't have them in my district.
I'm going to shift real quick. Not every viewer knows this, but you have an incredible singing voice. I'm banned from several countries for ever participating in karaoke, so I don't know if you could help me with that. How'd you get involved in singing mariachi, and do you perform today?
So the love for music, I think, is there at birth. My parents have always told me that when I was about 3 years old, I would walk around with a boombox that had a microphone, and I would supposedly perform to the family. Then when I was about 15 years old, I started getting more and more involved, and it was a love for the mariachi music comes from my grandfather. So my grandfather would actually take me to school and pick me up, and that's all he listens to this date. And so I started getting more enticed in that genre I then met some professional singers in Los Angeles, and they kind of took me under their wing and was able to tour internationally with some of the best mariachis in the world. So it was a beautiful experience. It's something that to this date you cannot get rid of music. I wake up and I go to sleep listening to music.
Representative Chavez, thank you for your leadership on NAFTA and DACA and just the bipartisanship that you've brought to the legislature to really help move Arizona forward. Thank you, and thank you for being with us.
No,
today.
thank you, Glenn. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Representative.
Thank you.
Thank you.